For the first 1 year, I was the only staff. Maybe after like about 1 year, 1 month, or 1 year, 2 months, that I employed the first staff for DOTTS Media.
Sometimes when I tell people the kind of brands we're managing and they wonder how do you guys just do it? We just want to get the job done.
Excellence was like something that CJ really took priority, and everyone working with him had to learn as well.
There are 2 ways to run a business. You go deep and you go wide. And in 10 years, he's done that incredibly well.
Like the popular saying goes, follow who know road. I've seen him start DOTTS Media from a small team to what it is now.
When you've grown roots to the ground well, then there is no limit to how well you can grow.
And they were, really willing to be kind of like almost on 24/7, managing a bunch of projects across multiple countries and time zones and all of that.
I try to give people their credit, and so for TJ Dot, it's like, look, you were the first media agency, as far as I know, to say influencing is going to be a dominant niche, and you deserve to be called the king of this.
Our journey has been one of growth. From when we started in 2014, we started off with just influencer marketing. And then 2-3 years after, we transitioned into becoming a digital agency. Some years after, we transitioned into becoming a full-blown 360 marketing agency.
I'm very proud of what DOTTS and Tiwa have built and the team have built over the years.
DOTTS are great partners. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, night, early morning, weekends, they're always accessible. They really act like they're an extended part of your team, and it was something that made them stand out from other agencies I've worked with before.
I studied in University of Lagos and I studied quantity surveying. And if I remember clearly, that wasn't something that I was interested in. Like I remember getting into 100 level and immediately I realized what quantity surveying was all about. It wasn't just something that was of interest to me. What happened next would be me deciding what other things were interesting me then. In 100 level, right? I think this was what was on my mind as a 100 level University of Lagos. People knew I dressed well. I was always able to influence someone to do something. For example, I used to sell something called Shambhala while in 100 level, and I was able to get a lot of people to buy it. It's like a hand bead, right? Or as at 100 level, I joined a club in school called Fuse Entertainment, and that was my first entry into anything that has to do with like business, because I got quite popular from doing these 2 things I just shared on campus. During this process of the 100 level and 200 level, I remember clearly somebody called Shane Woshineye had seen and heard by BlackBerry, right? And they were going to choose brand ambassadors to represent them in the country. But they wanted to go about it in a different way. They didn't want to go through the usual way of picking celebrities or like music stars, football stars to represent them. They were going to pick popular, influential people on campuses to represent their brand. And in 200 level, I became the first ambassador for BlackBerry. And then all through my undergraduate years, 200 level to final year, this was a major part of my life.
I think TJ Dot was the first ambassador on the BlackBerry Ambassadors program, and he was in school at the time.
So that was the year 2012. TJ was one of the people who had entered to be one of the ambassadors of BlackBerry.
I remember the excitement when we won the BlackBerry account and had to then come up with that big campaign. The idea of the campaign was to take BlackBerry to the grassroots, was to take BlackBerry to its target audience, which were young people at the time, competing against Samsung. Samsung was the other big telephone brand.
The criteria was pretty steep at the time. So you needed to be cool, you needed to be social, you needed to be popular in school. So you needed to be that go-to person. But the fourth one was you needed to be someone that was warm, like receptive. So you must be a people person.
He fit all the boxes. He was smart, he was cool, he was suave. He had that bright eyes and excitement, that gave us confidence that, this was the man.
As soon as I saw TJ and he spoke to me, I I already knew that this guy had everything I was looking for.
All through the period of 4 years, I basically came up with strategies to help them sell their devices. We would get the devices like 2-3 months before and help them create strategies of how they should sell to the audience. We were about 12 across Nigeria. I was the team lead.
He could lead his peers, as well. He's not a strong, forceful leader, but he's a subtle, people gathering rather, leader.
And I think that there's nothing that excites me more than, Nigeria is a tough place. So when you find talent that is shining, even made in Nigeria talent that is shining, you always wonder to myself, how did this person survive Nigeria? How did this person, what books did they read? What movies did they watch? What did they see that made them brilliant? Yeah. And just one conversation with TJ Dotts, and I thought this one is going to go far.
For about 3 years or so, he did an excellent job taking BlackBerry, to the #1 position in the country at the time.
And that 4 years really was my formative years in introducing me into what is now being known as influencer marketing. Just as I was graduating, I was 100% sure already that I was going to become an entrepreneur. I was going to build a media agency. One thing that was important then was, if I was going to go into business, do I have the expertise of running a business? Because you can have all the value and all the everything it takes, right, to do something great, but you don't have the management skill. You don't have the people's management, the client management, like all the skills that are necessary to run a proper business. And for me, like, I've always been someone that anything worth doing is worth doing well. If I was going to be serious about this, if I'm certain that media was what I wanted to do, then it was important to go somewhere to intern so that I'm able to learn this aspect of business that I'm not aware of, that I don't have the skill for. So I decided I was going to go to a company called Redbox Africa, owned by Yinka Obebe and Bola Yinka Obebe. It was a plan for me. I wanted to do 6 months internship with them.
So I remember that at the time he joined, there were some interesting things that I found that he had done. So I found he was already an ambassador for BlackBerry or something within Unilag, and what that entails was to get people together, to rally them, for campaigns or for different things. And I just saw him and I felt, okay, that's interesting. And I think with the social media also, I think he did a pretty damn good job, because he did take our social media presence from zero, up until a good place. And we had lots of interesting ideas and dreams that we're always experimenting with.
My learning during that period, I would say, has stayed with me all through these 10 years. I've taken a lot I learned, how Yinka Obebe and Bola Yinka Obebe manages the relationship with like team members, right? Their relationship with like clients, right? The way working every day in the office was as seamless as possible, no tension. It felt like a creative space.
I think one of the most interesting things about Tiwa's time for us was very experimental at the period, and I think it was also at the time when Redbox also now birthed Pop Central. So that was when, and these were quite early days of Instagram and all of that.
DOTTS kicked off officially December 20th, 2014, right? And before then, obviously, we had started jobs, but when you register officially as a company. And like I shared earlier, we started off with just one service. We just wanted to be known as one of the best in influencer marketing. That was the goal. So in the first 1 or 2 years, all we were doing was fully influencer marketing, helping influencers to build, helping clients to amplify their message or their to convert for them through influencer marketing. For the first 1 year, I was the only staff of DOTTS Media. I think it was maybe after like about 1 year, 1 month, or 1 year, 2 months, that I employed the first staff, which was Emmanuel.
I remember then it was just the both of us. I think we were using a virtual office, a workspace, using a workspace, and it was just the both of us. We had so much to do. We were managing top and big brands. Sometimes when I tell people the kind of brands we're managing, and they wonder how do you guys just do it? We just want to get the job done.
And I remember that period when he was employed was when I finally moved out of my house, or moved Dots Media out of my house, because I had this small table. I can remember it visually. Just this small table at the corner in my sitting room where I wake up every day and sit at that table to talk to all the influencers, brief them about the campaign we're about to start, follow up on the engagement or the insights on it. But immediately I finally employed one person because it was now time to really grow out of the space at home. It was just two of us. I think for the next 2-3 months, then we started to employ.
When I joined DOTTS, it was more like it was something I really, wanted to do. And then opportunity to work with top brands, really sharpened me up, well, because it was more like I was really loaded and I needed somewhere to express myself, and DOTTS provided me that platform.
Source to TJ DOTTS was very simple. First and foremost, as an agency, Red Media Africa, we learned because we entered during a time of flux. You have to move with the times quickly. You can't spend time thinking about, oh, what is this? We also had the skill of identifying where the industry is going next. So even though I didn't understand influencing, I just know that this is where the industry is going. Like, it's so obvious. And TJ DOTTS understood what influencing was about. And so he both understood it and I could trust him. Yeah, and we could trust that he knew what he was doing.
If I remember clearly, Red Media, all through our first 3-4 years, were one of our earliest clients. Insight Communications was one of our earliest clients. They basically outsourced influencer marketing to us. Because they were bigger, obviously, we're just like our first, second, third year. They get all the brief and basically outsource that aspect of influencer marketing to us. And so we had done several campaigns.
Once we have the full brief from the client, we just engage DOTTS and we'll give them the entire brief, send them a brief plan, we'll sit down, deliberate together. Perhaps sometimes we would have our own list of influencers that we had as like mandatories, and then he would come and tell us, okay, these are your tier 1 influencers, or like the macro influencers, then you now had the micro influencers, and then you had the nano influencers. And oftentimes we'd also work with celebrity influencers, and he had a way of making sure that there was, seamless synergy between every party involved, and communication was going well. People were executing as they should, and we didn't have copy and paste kind of Twitter posting. You know how you are running a campaign and you can tell that this thing is scripted somewhere. Everybody's just copying from one WhatsApp group and posting. Yeah, I think that was one of the things that DOTTS was able to help us manage.
It was through DOTTS that, the concept of, would have to develop the tweets, or would have to guide, the kind of tweets that these influencers would put out, that kind of thing. So it was a SLAR campaign. We worked together, and I mean, it was a good campaign. Client was happy, right? And then subsequently, we then started to work on other jobs.
When we had, I think there was a campaign with iPhone, we brought him in for that to, work with us to try and achieve that. We also had like several client campaigns where we needed to do digital drive, and his team was there ready, trying to help us navigate a quicker way to create influence. And every time we engaged TJ at Red, it was always smooth. He was always part of the family. He was always sort of trying to help us figure out, how do we do this thing better? How can we help you guys do this thing better? And every time we always achieve the results, and we always surpass the set objective every single time. So it was a no-brainer. He had proven himself in the years of BlackBerry, and I mean, fast forward, this was like 2017, 18. It was so easy to engage with him and do business.
I try to give people their credit, and so for TJ DOTTS, it's like, look, you were the first media agency, as far as I know, to say influencing is going to be a dominant niche, and you deserve to be called the king of this.
One of the major ingredients to the journey, or the success of the journey, right, is mentorship. It started from my mom, right, who literally is the first business person that I had seen, and how much tenacity she had, how much grit she had with business, what she became, what she had done with it, like just literally her impact in business. And that really was my first mentorship. Just as I was getting into university as well, the next person which I now would call my first ever mentor would be Samade Yemi, who is just a one-of-a-kind business leader across the world. His knowledge of business, his knowledge of spirituality, being a faith-driven entrepreneur, his guidance, right, has been impactful on my journey. And during the period of BlackBerry, I met an amazing man called Debola Lagos.
Timon was very creative. He was very passionate, very committed. You know, he had energy that immediately drew me to him. And I remember that I would say to all of them, all the ambassadors, because interestingly, we really were able to find the brightest and the best, you know, across campuses. You know, all of them shared the same values. And I would say to all of them at the time that one day, you're all going to own agencies. One day, you're all going to become marketing consultants. And I'm sure at the time they thought, oh, this man just wants us to work hard. This man just wants to push us to do the best for his company. They didn't really see that indeed I saw something in them. And, you know, of all of them, TJ and a few others always stood out as the guys who I was certain, you know, will go further in this marketing business. And that was why I took him under my wings at the time and began to mentor him indirectly and eventually directly.
Debola was excited about this young man that he had met. It's like, oh, this guy is going to be these guys are the future of the media, etc. So Debola already was excited before I got to meet, you know.
Accepting to mentor TJ was a no-brainer, to be honest. You see, I always tell people that in life, for you to find mentors, for you to find investors and sponsors, you need to meet them halfway. You need to or meet them quarter way. There needs to be something. You know, people really don't just want to see you and pity you. You know, they want to see that you're doing something, you're going somewhere. Even God, you know, as when he gave the parable of the seeds, you know, he punished the one who buried the seed and did nothing with it. Only the guys who took their seeds and multiplied it, you know. So there's always, you know, that thing about someone who is working, someone who is moving. And I saw TJ as a moving vehicle. Now the question is, how do we make him an airplane? How do we make him, you know, take off and go further in life? You know, and so I felt like I had that responsibility, particularly because, you know, we found him as a bright young man on campus, you know, who was also, as he was passionate, was figuring out, you know, where he was going with his life. And I thought that if I could add a bit of the mentorship that I have also received from other people, I could help him navigate, you know. And in over, you know, 10, 13 years, I've seen him grow in leaps and bounds. I am so proud of him.
Joining the company as a CEO then was very strategic, because the agency was trying to restructure, blending in what the agency was known for, you know, which is like the leading influencer marketing agency and also social media agency at the time. So I had to join in with my experience being very technical in media buying, you know, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you know, bringing all of that experience, SEO, you know, and also, I mean, that was actually like the moment where the company was trying to restructure and being a full-fledged 360 agency. You know, that was when we had products like NIMR, which is Nigerian Influencer Marketing Report. One
of the ways that we became a thought leader in that space was launching a report, for example, that we've done annually since 2017. It's called the Nigerian Influencer Marketing Report. It's been recognized nationally, Pan-African, right? It's a resource for media professionals to basically know the state of influencer marketing in the country.
The Nigerian Influencer Marketing Report impacted DOTTS, or made an impact on DOTTS, because it allowed DOTTS to really gain traction or gain its, would I say, its name. I mean, we were doing influencer marketing and it was like we're the first agency to really say, hey, we are doing influencer marketing. But the report helped us make that name and make that mark and say, okay, these guys are not just doing it just like like bits and pieces, but they really, really know what they are doing. And I feel like after that report, Dots Media really gained its stance and made a name for itself.
We've grown that, for example, into a subsidiary company called TrendUp that is now known as the home for influencers and content creators across Africa. TrendUp Africa is also the owners of the award, TrendUp Awards, which is the first ever award for influencers and content creators across Africa as well.
TrendUp Awards is interesting. In a way, I also call it my baby because I was opportune to join the team during the planning stages for the first edition. You know, having an industry where you have an award for musicians, another one for actors, and then none for the creators themselves. And this was at the time where brands were engaging them, people were engaging them, they were literally championing conversations online, and they put in a lot of work and not being recognized. So having TrendUp take the initiative to recognize them, to spotlight them, to showcase their work. I mean, when I saw it, when I heard about it, I was really interested in being a part of it because I saw it as an avenue to I would say thread new waters, but to launch something new, to launch something fresh in the industry.
It's beautiful that that whole award space has been created for creators. It's good to see that that space has been covered, and that entire industry has been there, and somebody there to recognize them. And I think that's what TrendUp is doing. And I think we've been partnering to stream for 3 years now, thereabouts, or something. And I mean, it's not something we're thinking of changing our minds about, and we're happy that that is successful, and I think it can grow even bigger. I think it will.
The first time ever that myself and TJ had the conversation about TrendUp, I know it was immediately after with Pepsi had just partnered with the AMVCAs, and he came to say, just as we are having this massive reward for people within the entire creative space, this should also be extended to the influencers who are doing amazing stuff within the entire landscape. And I thought, of course, why not? I bought into that vision, our business bought into that vision, and here we are, 4 years after. I've seen the tremendous growth of TrendUp Award, how it's become the go-to award, a means of fulfillment, a means of celebration for influencers across the digital landscape in Nigeria. And because Pepsi, of course, continue to be the brand at the forefront of driving contemporary pop culture, we continue to align our objective with the TrendUp Award. We continue to invest in delivering fulfillment to influencers who are actually putting smiles on our faces, who are educating and informing us across the landscape. And I think so long as TrendUp continue to celebrate these really, really important people in our lives, in our economy, our brand will continue to use them as an opportunity to also connect, resonate, and drive impactful connection with the Nigerian populace.
When it comes to the creative sector, like the work they've done with TrendUp regarding promoting the creator economy, promoting influencers, trying to support them, giving them reward for their hard work in that sense, it's been massive. So that's lots. So that's one angle of the massive impact.
It's something that is very core to our heart, where we want to support the influencers. Again, that's the reason why we started TrendUp, to be able to have a home for the creators across Africa where they can get support. It could be tips from their fan base, it could be investment from investors, it could be us being able to create that platform that no one was honoring them. We've decided to create that TrendUp Awards that they've now accepted as their own award. It's now become their own Oscars and their own Grammys, right, for influencers and content creators. One of the things that we even do beyond that is a 2022, for example, where we're able to give out $1,000 to 16 winners. That's $16,000 to support their crafts, to be able to use that in creating content or to do something that would help them to elevate their career. In 2023, for example, we give out a car to the biggest winner of the night, Mr. Macaroni. That also is in support of his craft and helping him to elevate generally in his career. The biggest stages of growth that we've experienced has been in this last 4 years. The period when we've transitioned into becoming a 360 media company, right? It's just opened the door for the diverse set of services that we're delivering for clients now. Like, again, running through advertising to BTL to ATL, media buying, activations, just the full scope of advertising is what we now handle. We've done this for several brands in these last 4 years. Cheaper Cash, which is a major case study, we've handled everything advertising for them in 8 markets, for example. We're known as their global agency.
When we started working with DOTTS, we were, a kind of pre-Series A company, and it was clear that with DOTTS as our agency, we could kind of punch above our weight, right? And look and appear to be much bigger and at a grander scale than we were actually at that stage of the company's growth.
As a top marketing agency, which DOTTS has always placed itself as, one of the things we've learned at Cheaper Cash was that, first you need someone who understands the market, someone who sees your vision like you. And engaging with them has been seamless. I mean, from the first day to reviewing, campaigns, to rolling out campaigns. I mean, even reviewing results of campaign has been like, results driven. And that's one thing we look out for, because it's not just about, the ideas. It's not about our campaign. It's about what the goal and the vision is, for that campaign. And that was what, DOTTS really embodied, right, as a marketing agency. And, that stood out for us.
Working with some of the biggest artists and stars that we have, like Burna Boy, Simi, impact has been massive. And not just working with them, but working with them in ways that hasn't been done before. The quality of the work, the quality of the production, the quality of the ads, the quality of the whole campaign is something that none of the traditional agencies or any agency could actually come up with. The innovation that goes into the ideas, the strategy sessions, the team.
One of the things that is making all of that stand is the collaborative spirit. How we collaborate on so many projects. When you are collaborating with the social media team or the production team, or you are collaborating with the clients or whoever it is you are collaborating with, there is the core value in how we relate, and everything is still like collaboration and togetherness, right? So, because at the end of the day, whenever you are seeing anything out there, it's not going to be, this is the person who did it. It's going to be DottsMediaHouse did it, which is one of the reasons why we make sure that we come together as a team to brainstorm an idea and, of course, execute it together.
Our structure consists of 5 divisions, and that has helped us promote clear communication between teammates and also efficient project execution. Our leadership style, I would say, it's a transformative leadership style. We've been able to encourage employees to take ownership, make informed decisions, and drive results.
We worked on Cheaper Cash's entry into the Nigerian market. We did ambassador signing for them, digital marketing for them, even offline activations, right, and different experientials. For that particular campaign, I loved the way people received it, the acceptance that campaign got, and even got to a point people were like, did Burna Boy sing that Bank on It song because of the campaign? That's the extent to which people really, really loved the entire, Bank on It campaign, and it went really well.
So we did a lot of projects with DOTTS, maybe 20 plus commercials, right? And we featured all kinds of different artists and influencers. So it wasn't just Burna Boy, it was Ann Kasimi from Uganda, it was Black Cherie from Ghana, and many, many others, even Patrice Evra from the UK. So we did a bunch of 360 marketing campaigns, including billboards, TV commercials. We did a lot of digital marketing. Digital marketing was really our core and kind of where we started.
It's being able to deliver that value across multiple countries.
There's a couple of things that really differentiate DOTTS in terms of their ability to help you grow as a company, right? And so I think those things became quite evident, and they were, really willing to be kind of like almost on 24/7, managing a bunch of projects across multiple countries and time zones and all of that. And so there was early indicator that DOTTS was going to hustle hard on our behalf, and that really sort of set the stage for continuing to sort of scale up in the size and scope of the projects that we were doing, and to continue to leverage DOTTS as our primary agency.
We've done this for several brands, even Adidas. Adidas is one of our most exciting clients right now. We handle just different things, event launches for them, influencer marketing, sponsored ads.
We've worked on some of our key projects for Adidas. My experience with them generally has been great. They're really accessible to feedback, and open to it. They come with their own ideas, but they're flexible. Again, they kind of just are great partners, so they engage with us and the brand and help us think of new creative themes, which I think is, again, something that I haven't seen from other agencies. A lot of the ideas you get from other agencies is more of the same, and some of the things that we've come up with DOTTS have been really creative and really just out of the box.
Skechers as well, Pepsi, who is our longest standing client for about 8 years. We do everything digital marketing for them.
From Niger all the way to Lipton Ice Tea, Sunshine in a Bottle, to Pepsi No Shaking Carry Go, to Super Commando, Fire On, to even our foray into the home and personal care space when we launched Too Short. As a business, we've been able to entrust our digital objective to the hands of DOTTS Media from a social point of view, from a web point of view, and it's been an amazing result. If there's anything that I can actually say about DOTTS Media as regards the briefs and the campaign that we've been able to work on, it's been about delivering excellence.
So DOTTS has been one of our strategic partners on the media side. They've supported with different projects, the Social Innovators Program, the YDOS, UD of Service I described earlier. And they do everything for us, from helping to work on creative designs, work on documentary, support with amplifying the message, come up with the covers and all the different marketing items and elements that we need to push out our message. But more importantly, I think DOTTS has been a strategic partner, also connecting us to other people. So DOTTS works with several brands on several things, and sometimes we might need to, get a partner who can support one work that we're doing.
DOTTS has worked with us across multiple brands, being MJ's, Chiquitos, and Royal Mile. To give you some background, MJ's honey is one of the most premier honey in Nigeria, and Chiquitos was one of the market leaders for chocolate spread in Nigeria. DOTTS helped us establish a social media presence which we didn't have before, increase engagement, I can't even say how many fold, but tremendously, and really help us engage with the right influencers and brand ambassadors that we felt resonated with our brand and its values. Through these brand ambassadors, we were able to reach a far wider audience that we could think of, and we ran a lot of cool, interesting campaigns, giveaway campaigns that DOTTS help us facilitate.
DOTTS has also provided partnership in terms of capacity building. So we work with a lot of social entrepreneurs. So TY himself and DOTTS have been resource persons, training our fellows at different times on marketing related things or brand related topics.
When you think about us, we are not necessarily like that agency that is maybe like always in your face and all of that. Working on brands like Pepsi and all of that has really changed my outlook to life, that you don't need like 70 people on your team, for example. You don't need 130 people on your team, for example. You just need the best of minds. You just need the greatest of minds to get things done.
I would say that TJ seems to have a lot of trust in his team. He's hired people that are accountable, that are highly skilled and can deliver. So
Nigeria, and Chiquitos was one of the market leaders for chocolate spread in Nigeria. DOTTS helped us establish a social media presence which we didn't have before, increase engagement, I can't even say how many fold, but tremendously, and really help us engage with the right influencers and brand ambassadors that we felt resonated with our brand and its values. Through these brand ambassadors, we were able to reach a far wider audience that we could think of, and we ran a lot of cool, interesting campaigns, giveaway campaigns that DOTTS help us facilitate.
Is the product, is the people first, the products, and then the finances. Those are the three most important things, and these are the things that have pushed our growth. The people, for example, there's no other way to explain how our team members have been the core reason of where we are right now. One person couldn't have done it. It's not possible.
I was still a student and I was just trying to get busy. So as a result of that, I was always joining marketing conversations online, joining advertising competitions. So there was this particular day where I joined one competition and I didn't win. But TJ, as we fondly call him, reached out to me and said, oh, he was following the competition online and he thought that I did great. So do I know about DottsMediaHouse and would I like to join? So I did my findings online about the company. I saw all the clients' credentials and all of that. And I thought to myself, oh, this is a place where I can actually grow. And I mean, 5 years ago, and we're here now.
When I joined, one of the things that really stood out and really helped me so far, that has helped me so far, is the collaborative spirit in the team, right? You are able to collaborate with anybody at different level, right? I had the opportunity to work on numerous projects. Nobody's going to say, oh, because you're a junior designer or because you're a junior this thing, you cannot work on this kind of project, or you cannot, like, they are going to allow you give your own shot, right? And that's one of the opportunities that I'm really, really grateful for, because I know some of my colleagues that work in like other agencies as well, or in the industry, right? Yes, we might have the same level, years of experience, but of course we don't have the same level of exposure, you know, in terms of creativity and our execution. Why? Because I've been more exposed to different projects, right? And that's one of those things that has really given me edge over my counterparts in the industry as well.
I could tell you when I joined DottsMediaHouse, I was given the room to work on local and global brands right from the get-go. I was hands-on, and that puts me on the fast plane of growth, as it were. It's just the natural structure of the company that everybody, right, has to be hand-on, and there is no segregation whatsoever. Oh, it is this level of person that can work on a particular account. No, I was working on local and global major campaigns, as a matter of fact, and that helped me to grow so fast, right? As much as the structure played its role in my growth, right, from intern to being the business lead, right, I wouldn't fail to say that TJ was really at the bedrock. For every mistake, I got knocks, right? For every mistake, I got coaching, right? And also for every success, he didn't let me rest on my laurels. He ensured that the bar is always raised each time I hit a particular success, and of course, that's how I've actually grown.
DottsMediaHouse culture is built on respect, innovation, excellence, commitment, and togetherness. And these values has driven success. It has driven exceptional client satisfaction, it has driven productivity and also reduced error internally. Our open door policy encourages employees to come forth with ideas and share their opinions without fear and of course with confidence, and I think that's such a powerful policy to adopt.
What we consider as growth, falls under 3 categories. Our people, our products, and the markets. By our people, we mean, how do we one, also attract the best talent in the industry, but the people that are already in the company, how do we ensure that they are also growing as the company is growing? What kind of experience are they having? How are we ensuring that they are working on projects and products that are aspirational, challenging as well, and then within the next 1 year, 5 years, next decade, they themselves can also see tangible growth in their own lives and in their profession. And secondly is product. The product side is actually a new thing in DottsMediaHouse now, which is we looking internally to discover what are those assets that we have and how can those things become products that can offer value to our clients. And we want to see how some of the things that we've created now, which I will touch on, goes deep and goes wide, but also based on how the market is changing and based on the needs of our clients, how can we also discover new products lines that we can offer in the market. And the third one is the market.
Looking at the last 10 years, right, I can confidently say now that we have been at the forefront of African media, and it's shown from all the activities we've done, all the collaborations we've done with brands, campaigns we've been able to execute, that has been huge and very successful. We now function in more than 15 markets where we deliver advertising.
We want to see how some of the things that we've created now, which I will touch on, you know, goes deep and goes wide. Yeah.
Starting from a co-working space, we've moved to a first small office in the mall to something a bit bigger in Alausa, for example, and then now being able to really like settle into our own office property now that we own, right? Where we now house these different subsidiary companies that we started from 2021.
Some of the subsidiaries and also product that we've created in Dots Media is number one is what we've called The Point. The Point is where we have event spaces, you know, across major cities whereby businesses can use for their functions. And for now, in our 10th year now, we have The Point Lagos. So, I mean, over the next couple of years, we're going to be seeing The Points in different cities in Nigeria and across as well. And secondly is TrendUp.
TrendUp Africa, for example, that is the owner of TrendUp Awards and TrendUp X. Is known as the home for influencers and content creators.
A platform where we extend the hand of ease and honor to influencers and content creators, right? And in the company, we created an arm of the company called TrendUp Awards, where in real time, we actually gather thousands of influencers and content creators, right? Then we, of course, celebrate every one of them and honor a few.
The way we're thinking in 2022, when we did the second edition of TrendUp Awards, and we decided to give all the winners $1,000, right, as a seed funding. That's how we're seeing it, to support their craft, like help them to grow. Ekiki was a winner, for example, Mr. Macaroni, Fisayo Fusudo, Shank Comics, Mark Angel, just several of them, 16 leading creators in the country. Being able to give each of them $1,000 to support their crafts. Or looking at how in 2023 we also give out a brand new car to the biggest winner of the night, Mr. Macaroni, to also support his craft.
We have done that for 2 to 3 years, right, in Nigeria. The 4th edition, we extended this to Africa, and it was a bang.
Thirdly is, we've now launched a studio space.
Dot Studio, that is situated inside our office, where we churn out podcasts, content for different brands and also internally. Lastly, our academic expression, right, which we're excited about to launch in January of 2025. It's called the Doctrine Academy, where we're going to really start to equip young people across Africa, right, virtually and physically, with digital skills.
An ex-peer of mine who works with us as a producer now said to me, I just passed the TJ Dots office in, I think, Ikeja or somewhere. It's such a huge office. I'm like, you did not know. But he's a I was like, he's a huge success. And I was like, oh, he didn't know that he's this success. I'm like, first and foremost, even his office space is not the sign of his success. Like, you don't even need, but I know the quality of clients that he works with. I know the depth of the media spend that he commands.
What made me add interest in being part of them, even at my age then, they came with different products and different concepts. And I knew then that this is the future. And the way they presented it, it was like they were selling tomorrow for me today.
It's beautiful to see how they've become a force to reckon with in our space. I'm sure if you're, talking about top agencies within the integrated marketing communication space, right, Dots will definitely be one of the names that you would call.
I'm always excited to hear of the different projects that, that Dots is doing. I think as a leading agency in Nigeria, I've yet to meet another agency that just hustles at the level that Dots does, and I think that's very evident in how they've grown over the last, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years.
TJ Dots is going to succeed. You see, when you are young and people are telling you, when I was young, people were telling me, you're going to do well, you're going to do well. You do understand, because you saw yourself as just one of several people that were trying to make a way. And then you look back and you say, oh, I know what they saw that made them think so. And it's the same thing I saw with TJ Dots. There's some things that just stand people out. The ability to see clearly, the ability to take risks with that, and the ability to finesse it. And he's always been incredibly ambitious. So TJ is like Adebola.
I think TJ, has grown Dots Media exponentially in the last 10 years. His growth is most impressive. Like I said earlier, there are 2 ways to run a business. You go deep and you go wide. And in 10 years, he's done that incredibly well. I am so proud of him. Not just the influence that he has built, but also the wealth that he's been able to build. Because it's one thing to run a media business and build influence. It's another to understand how to convert that into wealth. You know, and I'm really excited to see that he's been able to do both.
The growth at DOTTS has been so inspiring. Like I am so proud and happy. Honestly, the growth makes me so happy, so proud. Like it's like, oh wow, like literally that's all I can say. Oh wow.
It's amazing to see this small but very big media agency working for big brands, HP, Pepsi, Chipper, doing amazing work, growing, not just in terms of the clientele and the work that they do, but even launching new things, spinning off things like TrendUp, you know, which was very novel and is very novel in terms of influencer marketing. It's amazing to see the growth, to see the consistency, to see the excellence. It's also impressive to see that there's a lot of expansion happening right now. I know that DOTTS is opening up shop or has opened up shop in Ivory Coast, you know, and beyond just doing work across Africa, they want to even expand their footprint, you know, their physical footprint and boots on the ground across Africa. So it's impressive to see the great work that Tiwa and the team have built over the years. And it's an amazing Nigerian story, I would say.
As we move into our next decade, we are now for the first time in the business physically expanding into a Francophone region. In the last 10 years, we've worked in over 15 markets, for example, delivering excellence, like we say, for different brands. But we're now physically, for the first time, expanding into a space beyond Nigeria, right? So we're expanding across West Africa, East Africa, and to the Middle East. But we started off with the Francophone space, where we've now pitched our tent with Côte d'Ivoire. We're now going to be servicing the neighboring countries, right? Like Mali, like Burkina Faso, like Cameroon, all the 26 neighboring Francophone regions. We kicked this off from the Q3 of 2024, and just like we started in Nigeria in 2014, we count this as day one as well in the Francophone region, where we are now starting off with just step-by-step services, and then we hope to be able to celebrate 10 years as well in the Francophone region, and also as we plan to expand into the Middle East.
In summary, in the next 10 years, what the world would see from DOTTS is, one, DOTTS will be in more geographical locations, and not just in Africa, but across other continents. Yeah. Two is we're now going to be in more spaces in terms of like industries, in terms of like sectors as well. Yeah. Technology is accelerating everything that we are seeing now. So there will be more technology integration into our products and our services.
The world is not ready for what DOTTS Group is bringing to the forefront. All those things, when I think of it, so happy.
DOTTS, happy 10th anniversary. It's been so great working with everybody on the team over the last couple of years, and just can't wait to continue building together. Congratulations and good luck going forward.
Dear TJ and the entire DOTTS Media team, I am indeed most proud, most proud of all of you. What you've done in the last 10 years is one for the books. I can't wait to celebrate when you're 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't know if you'll still be running an agency in this format, but I know you'll still be here, doing great things, walking into rooms, making great connections, and converting them into wealth and into influence. See you at 100.
I'd like to congratulate you on 10 years. I mean, it's been an amazing 10 years, seeing what you've done with this brand, seeing how you've built it literally from the ground up. You know, every time I pass here and I see this building, I'm always just excited, you know, because for me it's like I saw how it started, and I can see where it is today. And I'd like to tell you that I am so proud of what you've done. You know, I'm thankful for the last 10 years and how God has enabled you to build what you have. I'm confident that the next 10 years, you know, will definitely be greater things for you. I wish you all the best.
It's 10 years of DOTTS. We're looking for another decade, you know, forward to another decade of doing your magic. Nigeria, Ghana, all across Africa. Let's take Africa one continent at a time. And one of the things we're looking out for is how far can we go? Let's keep going, DOTTS. DOTTS for life.
I'm glad to be part of this success story, and I'm only wishing you guys, more expansion, more growth. So I'm hoping like the growth for the next 10 years will be much more than what we have currently.
The entire DOTTS Media family, I want to say congratulations on 10 years of doing amazing and impactful work. You guys have done it with such power and grace, and you're actually a strong representative and a voice for how they call it Gen Z today. I'm really, really proud of you guys for the last 10, but more so, I'm so proud of what you guys are going to do in your next 10, because I mean, I've had some conversations with you, TJ, and just hearing your mind and where you're trying to pace the company now, I think nothing is impossible. I think you can do everything, and more than that, I know you are also a God chaser, so greatness is only but a start. So I wish you all the best for the last 10, and even better for the next 10.
I want to wish TJ and DottsMediaHouse a happy 10th anniversary. Congratulations.
All right, Tiwa and DOTTS Media, big congratulations on your 10th year anniversary. We're super proud of what you guys have done and what you guys are poised to do. Wishing you more decades of growth. Nigeria and Africa really, really needs organizations like yours to really blow more, because we have a lot of young people to employ and we have industries to power. So I wish you all the best, and God bless you.
Many, many years to come, many decades to come, and we always congratulate you. Congratulations, proud of you, and more success in your businesses. Congratulations.
It's a huge, huge milestone. First of all, thank you for starting, thank you for staying, and thank you for continuing.
Yes.
And getting here and inspiring so many people that this is very doable. So this is cheers to the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead. Wish you all the best. Congratulations to the DOTTS Media team.
Congrats.
I'd like to wish you guys a happy 10th year anniversary. It's been amazing working with you guys. I've personally had an experience with the team, and I look forward to more amazing years ahead, 10, 20, as much as possible. Keep doing amazing work, keep being excellent, keep charting new waters, and keep making Africa proud. Congratulations.
DOTTS, 10 years is amazing. A child of 10 years is already an adult nowadays, so being 10 years is very huge. I'm very excited about your growth across Africa, across the globe. Yeah, super excited of what you've done. You've broken boundaries, you've done new things that people haven't done before, and we're excited to see the next 10 years. We can't just imagine how amazing and lots of great things that you're still going to do the next 10 years. So congratulations, DOTTS. I'm happy for everybody on the team, for the loyal team, the great team, the creative team, everybody working with DOTTS. Big congratulations to you. Happy 10th anniversary.
The entire DOTTS Media, thank you for staying through, fighting up till this stage, and I know that you have everything, you've put everything in place. I wish you the very best in the next 10 years, 20 years, 100 years to come. All the best.
On behalf of myself, the entire SBC, I want to say a very, very big congratulations to DOTTS Media and to TJ DOTTS, as we fondly call him, on the 10th year anniversary of DOTTS Media in Nigeria. I have to say that you've done amazingly well. You've been innovative, you've been excellent, and I can only pray that this is just the beginning of amazing, amazing, productive and fulfilling output for the entire DOTTS Media Group. Keep rocking our world, keep telling those authentic stories, and keep owning not just the digital landscape of Nigeria, of Africa, but of course the entire integrated marketing communication space. To DOTTS Media, to TJ DOTTS, keep winning, now and always.
As DottsMediaHouse celebrates 10 years, of excellence, of pioneering, of redefining sections of this industry, I want to say huge congratulations to the founder, TJ DOTTS, and to the entire team at DottsMediaHouse. What you've created is something worth praising.
DOTTS Media, congratulations on an incredible 10 years. I wish you even more success in the next 10 years ahead. Good luck, God bless, and all the best.